I'm going live, and you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Philadelphia Eagles. And why the Philadelphia Eagles 0-16? Because they suck. The Eagles have always sucked in the past. The Eagles suck this year, and the Eagles will always suck. The Philadelphia Eagles suck. And welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there? They're all going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. Or anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay of this. Once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It really means the world to me. Thank you. Got to try to move the chair here. Every time I start talking, my dog wants to go on the floor next to me. So every time I start doing this, I start the video. He wants to sit next to me, so I got to move the chair. But I'm going to shoot my mouth off here for about 30 minutes here tonight as we go. Usually, sometimes I go a lot longer than 30 minutes, but usually try to go at least 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, throw in the chat box, fire away. I usually check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. Okay, so anything gets put in there, as I see it, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away, throw something in the chat box. There. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. The top link in the description box, it takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership offers. The first one's called the Saquon. The second membership level is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. There's loyalty badges, which are pretty cool. There's 8 different loyalty badges. Each one is a different Giants helmet. Now, the older the Giants helmet is, the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. If you get the leather helmet, okay, associated with your name, you've been a supporter of my channel for a long time. There's also 4 emojis. Eventually, there will be a 5th one coming up, but right now there's 4. I had them made up on Fiverr. I get a kick out of them every time I look at them. They really freaking crack me up. But you can use them, I guess, if you're making a comment or you put them in the chat box or something. I guess you can use the emojis there. But they're pretty cool. So anybody wants to help support my channel, once again, it's the top link, and it would mean the world to me. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, and hit that bell icon. It's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? What the heck? What I got? I started today 5,572 subscribers. Right now I'm at 50. I just went over 5,600. I'm at 5,603. So if my math is correct, usually it's not. My math is correct. I've gone up 31 subscribers so far today, and the day's not over with. So I'm probably on pace for another 40 or so today, 35 to 40. I tell you what, it's really been phenomenal. Ever since the season's been over with, I'm still getting like about 30 or so subscribers every day. It's just absolutely fantastic. A couple weeks ago, I hit the 5,000 plateau. I mean, I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd actually have 5,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, please go down and hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. As I said, that way next time I put out a video, I go live, whatever, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose? And then finally, one more thing. I got in the description box below, there's 2 Facebook links. Okay, the top Facebook link takes you to a group I have. It's all basically all called the same. That way, because I'm an idiot like me, I can remember. I don't get them screwed up. My YouTube channel, my Facebook group, and my Facebook page are all called New York Giants the Gridiron. All right, that's why I won't ever forget them. All right, you got to dumb things down for people like me. All right. But the top link, it takes you to a Facebook group. It's called New York Giants, the Gridiron. Right now, there's over 2,100 members in there. I try to put at least 10 different posts in there every day. One I got right here is putting something in about happy birthday to Saquon Barkley. Then there's like videos I put in here. There's a map of each state, who they're rooting for in the Super Bowl. It's kind of like a joke. But then there's another post I got. Roger Goodell doesn't think the NFL officiating has ever been better than it is right now. I'm not sure what the frick he's smoking. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff I put in here every day. And it's not only so much me, it's also the members too. Because when you're a member, you can post stuff in there as well. So I try to put like at least 10 things or so in there every day. Okay. And also, as I said, the members are putting stuff in there too. So between me and the members, there's a ton of New York Giants info going in there every day. And then if you go to the second Facebook link, okay, it takes you to the page that I have. All right. It's once again called New York Giants, the Gridiron. Okay. This one's really taken off. I'll tell you what, we got 596 people who like it. But the thing is that there's over 2,400 people following it. And the followers is just going crazy. A few days ago, I had like 2,200 followers. I mean, the followers are really jumping up there, but it's the same thing. Okay. Like I try to put like every day of the week, 7 days a week. It's not a job. It's just, just time consuming. I put spend at least an hour and a half every day putting stuff in the group and the page. Right. But with the page is said, I try to put like about 10 different things in there every day. And I don't really try not to commingle them. So like whatever I put in the page, I don't put it in the group, and whatever I put in the group, I don't put in the page. So if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it, okay, and you go to the group and you become a member, between the two, you got a ton of New York Giants information every day, 7 days a week. In season, off season, preseason, whatever, right? So please go there, like it and follow it and become a member of the group, and you won't be disappointed. And if you are, like I say, you get your money back guarantee. All right, with all that stuff said and done out of the way, how about that Brian Daboll, huh? I mean, all the awards kind of, I guess I don't know if they all haven't come out yet or not, but a lot of them have. I mean, there's a couple of them I haven't seen yet. Let's see. There's a couple best moment of the year. I haven't seen that up yet, whatever that award is. I mean, I'll tell you what, how about those New York Jets, huh? I mean, not only they got the offensive rookie of the year, but they got the defensive rookie of the year, right? Garrett Wilson, their wide receiver, and a little sauce on the side. Gardner, the defensive rookie of the year. Kind of makes you wonder what would have happened at pick 5 if little sauce on the side Gardner was there. Would they have taken a little sauce on the side, or were they going after Kayvon? Would have been very, very interesting. Tell you what, could you imagine if we had Sauce Gardner and Adoree Jackson? Well, I mean, wouldn't need your James Bradbury anymore, huh? But I mean, you got to give the Jets, they had a very good draft class. Of course, they didn't finish very well, but they had a nice draft class. Nick Bosa, the defensive player of the year, offensive player of the year, Justin Jefferson. Dude's a freak. I don't know. The one that, I mean, congratulations to Geno Smith. He had a very good year, but I think he led the league with a completion percentage, of course. Some of the wide receivers he has, certainly, it doesn't hurt either, But I mean, a phenomenal season. To me, it's like, I don't know, like what happened to Nick Gates? The dude almost lost his leg. He comes back a year. Took him a year to come back from that horrific injury. Wasn't even sure if he was going to have his leg, right? Comes back and he plays this year. I mean, no comeback play. No, really? Yeah, really. I'm a little disappointed about that one. I mean, you go through an injury like that, right? And you come back and you can play the next year and all, especially if there was a point in time you might even lose your leg. I guess maybe from the knee on down, maybe. I mean, wow. Yeah. But I guess, I don't know. I don't know, but it is what it is. But congratulations to all the guys. But we're here to talk about Coach Daboll, right? How about him, huh? I mean, he got, there was he was named Coach of the Year by a couple other, organizations and all, but I guess this is the big one, is the NFL Coach of the Year. Now, he beat out, obviously, there was quite a few other guys that were in the running. If we can, here we go. All right, Associated Press selected Daboll over 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan. As I said, there was a bunch of guys I mean, without question. Okay, without question. I mean, I'm happy Daboll won it. Being partial, I think, he deserved to win it and all, but I mean, there was some really, without question, there were some phenomenal coaching jobs done this year. Kyle Shanahan, my God. I mean, the guy was on his third string quarterback, and he with the third string quarterback took them to the championship game. I mean, not only that, I mean, the record that they had, I mean, man, I mean, he did a phenomenal job. In the past couple of years, that dude is a hell of a coach. Hell of a coach. One of these years, if the injuries don't, keep biting him in the ass, one of these years, stuff's going to align for him, and he's going to wind up winning the Super Bowl. I mean, just really, really good coach. As I said, once again, you take a third string quarterback to the NFC Championship game. I mean, that's a hell of a job. I mean, of course, it's, he's got McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Ayuk. He's got the Skittle man, right? So, I mean, he's got some talent there. But, and then the defense is really good defense. So, I mean, kudos to Shanahan. He had a phenomenal season without question. Let's see here. And he beat out Coach Peterson, too. I mean, once again, they won. I mean, what they were last year. Okay, and he took them to not only winning the division, but obviously the play. You win the division, you're going to the playoffs, obviously. But I mean, and they did well in the playoffs too. So, Coach Peterson, heck of a job. And once again, I'm happy Daboll's won it, but hell of a job, Doug Peterson. Hell of a job, hell of a season. Now, to be fair, okay, he's got Trevor Lawrence. They dished out a bunch of money in free agency. They got Evan Ingram in there. Evan Ingram actually stayed healthy. But the thing is, with the Jaguars, one of the reasons why the Jaguars won their division and not the Titans was because the Jaguars were by far the least injured team in football, and the Titans were by far the most injured team in football. I mean, it's like, obviously the Titans were the most, the Jaguars were the least injured. Okay. So, when all your stars and everybody stays healthy and you're holding hands and you're roasting marshmallows by the fire, singing Kumbaya and everything's just hunky-dory and all of that, hey, of course good things are going to happen. I mean, you got to win the games, though, too. And he won the games. He did a phenomenal job with Trevor Lawrence this year. Phenomenal job. He really did a great job. It just kind of makes you think, it's kind of like, what's going to maybe happen to them, the Jaguars, if, a little adversity strikes, like the whole team gets injured. How's he going to handle it? You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know if they took that stuff into account, but if you go to man games lost, okay, Daboll, baby. Yeah. But you go to man games lost, right? The Jaguars were the least injured team by far, and the Titans were the most. All right. So, but I mean, the Jaguar, very good season. What's up? Yeah, Daboll. Yeah. NFL Coach of the Year. Very well deserved. Very, very, very happy for him. Really, really happy for him. Then it also beat out some other. There was Campbell too. What he did with Detroit, holy cow! And not only that, he came. They came in here into Jersey and they kicked their butts, right? What the hell? They didn't. They started off really bad and they almost made the playoffs and they had a winning record. when was the last time the Lions had a winning record? Holy cow! Campbell did a phenomenal job, right? Shanahan was second. Peterson was third. Sean McDermott, he had 48 total points. Coach Nick Sirianni, get the hell out of here. He had 45. The Eagles were like one of the least injured teams. He had the best team in football. Get the hell out of here. I didn't want to mention that dude's name. Kevin O'Connell from the Vikings. He did a phenomenal job. Somehow Kevin O'Connell got more votes than Dan Campbell did. I'm not quite sure how that happened. Dan Campbell what he did with the Lions this year took him from freaking doormats to almost almost getting into the playoffs. I tell you what, Dan Campbell did a phenomenal job with the Lions this year. There was some really Coach Mike Tomlin. He only got 5 total points. Pete Carroll, what he did in Seattle, he only got 6 total points. But so, you know, for Coach Daboll, I mean, phenomenal job, really, really good. But phenomenal job. Because it says, the Giants finished 9-7-1, made the playoffs, and then the season with the loss to the Eagles. But they beat the Vikings in the wild card round. The club went from 31st in both points scored and total yards in consecutive years under former coach Joe Judge. We were 31st in points and total yards, 31st both years. What they say here. To number 15 in points and number 18 in total yards. So, but I mean, you look at Campbell, what he did in the Lions. I mean, the Lions scored a ton of points this year. Let's see. Daboll won the award, but Shanahan and Peterson both had solid cases without question. I mean, Shanahan here, it says, started the season with Trey Lance. He got injured. Then they had Garoppolo in there. He got injured. Lance got injured in week 2. Garoppolo got injured in week 13. The team turned the last pick of the draft, Brock Purdy. And then, they won the NFC West with a 13-4 record with a third-string quarterback. And they finished number 5 in total yards and number 6 in points scored. But once again, Deebo Samuel, Ayuk, the Skittle man, right? McCaffrey. I mean, he had some weapons around him, right? And then, of course, you got with Peterson with the Jaguars after back-to-back season finishing with the worst record in football. And they won they wound up winning the AFC South. Peterson's first season with the helm. Trevor Lawrence looked like a lot more like the franchise quarterback in the second season. He had 25 touchdown passes and only 8 interceptions in the regular season. But I said once again, they were by far the least injured team in all of football. Let's see what happens if next year, if they just say perhaps they become like the most injured team in football. Let's see where the Jaguars wind up going. But it is what it is. But I mean, Daboll, without question, congratulations, phenomenal job, well deserved. I mean, can only hope, we start building on this thing here from, you certainly got the Giants off to a nice start. I mean, we were 7-2, right? And then of course, we were kind of hoping to be possibly 8-2 when the Lions came to town. The Lions just whooped up on us. I mean, of course, we actually had more yards than the Lions. I mean, the Lions had only had 165 yards passing, that 160 yards rushing, but they had no turnovers. The problem with the Giants was the Giants had 3 turnovers, three costly turnovers, right? You lose the turnover battle. A lot of times you wind up losing the game. So the 3, and that was the most turnovers the Giants had in the game all year. Oh, what do you got? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times the Giants had 2 turnovers in the game. All right, so all right, let's see here. Let's see. Okay, we had 2 against the Seahawks. Both were James, right? We lost that game. We had 2 against the Vikings in the regular season. We lost that one as well too. And then we had the 3 against the Lions. So when we had the turnovers, that really, really wound up hurting the Giants this year, big time. But I mean, we were off to a 7-2 start. I mean, a lot of it, we had that easy schedule, so to speak, in the beginning. And we jumped off to that 7-2 start. We wound up, I certainly don't want to say coasting, but, we certainly didn't wind up, winning a ton of games toward the end of the season. And we were 7-2 after 9 games, and we only won 2 more games over the last 8. So we wound up 2-5-1 over the last 8 games. So, but I mean, we had to play the Vikings right over those last 8 games. We had to play the Cowboys. We had to play the Eagles twice. So, I mean, it was tough. It was a time, and the Giants did not lose to a team with the losing record. Every game the Giants lost this year was to a team with the winning record. Okay, we lost 3 to the Eagles. We lost twice to the Cowboys. Right, we lost to the Vikings. We lost to the Lions. We lost to the Seahawks. Every one of those teams, okay, had a winning record. Every one of those teams. right? The Lions did not make the playoffs. Okay, actually, the every team the Giants lost to went to the playoffs except for the Lions. The Lions had a winning record. They just missed the playoffs, right? Because we lost to the Cowboys twice. Obviously, the Cowboys went to the playoffs, right? We lost to the Eagles, and the Eagles were obviously in the Super Bowl. We lost to the Vikings, and the Vikings went to the playoffs. Obviously, we beat them. Then we lost to the Seahawks, who went to the playoffs, and then we lost to the Lions. The Lions were the only team that we lost to, okay, that did not make the playoffs. But I mean, they only missed, I think they were like a game out, I think it was, of the playoffs. They started off, the Lions had the record. They started off really slow. And toward the end of the year, they were just like on fire. They were scoring a lot of points. They were a really good team. Dan Campbell did a phenomenal job. Tell you what, the Lions are offensive. It was the first time in their history. Of course, now we're talking 17 games. So you start throwing more games in there. Obviously, more and more records are going to be broken. But Gordon, what I saw with the Lions was this is the first time ever the Lions had 4,000 yards passing and 2,000 yards rushing. First time in the team's history. But I said, once again, now they're playing 17 games. So I said, you start playing more games, you're going to get more yards and points and all that. But, if they can ever get their defense straight, and they keep picking defensive guys too. Right? I mean, it seems like they keep picking defensive guys in the draft, and their defense is, but Aiden Hutchinson had a phenomenal year. Right? I said, look out for the Lions. If they can ever get that defense straightened out, watch out for them. So, Daboll did a phenomenal job, really, really phenomenal job. I mean, like what he did, so much him, okay? Actually everybody, the coaching staff, Daniel Jones, all that. Well, what we had, okay, the injuries we had, right? We had a lot of injuries on the offensive line. Evan Neal was in and out, right? He missed some time. Basically, pretty much Andrew Thomas, but Glowinski was in there all the time. But left guard, right? Something with center, different guys at center. Evan Neal missed some time. Darius Slayton was like the 7th ranked or whatever wide receiver on the team, I think, at the beginning of the season. There were tons of other guys in front of him. Yeah. Said we had Kadarius Toney, who got traded away. Kenny Golladay, who sat pretty much on the bench the whole year. Sterling Shepard, Wan'Dale Robinson, they got injured. We have Richie James here, and we get Hodgins off of some other team's practice squad, right? So what we were able to do, won a lot of close games. We were able to keep games close and wind up winning them. We didn't have the greatest defensive statistics, right? We gave up some points. We gave up some yards. We gave up more points than we did. We gave up more points than we scored, right? But, we were able, a lot of times, when it came right down to it, we needed a stop or whatever it was. The Giants were able to get it, right? What Brian Daboll was able to do with this team, was really, really remarkable. Now, what we need to do, obviously, is we need to, hopefully get Daniel Jones, right? Resign him. I don't know what we're going to wind up doing with Saquon. If we can work some type of a deal out with him, or maybe put a franchise tag on him. I don't know if he's going to want to play with a franchise tag or not, but if we can get Daniel Jones, who else are we going to bring back? Because we got a lot of guys. Now, if you start bringing back all the guys, all the free agents, that ain't going to leave any money hardly at all for anybody, much less our draft class. Now, let's not forget, we're going to have to sign 11 draft picks, right? So you figure we're probably going to need at least, I guess, figuring at least $10 million or so for our draft class, right? 10, 11 million for our draft class, so we, what are we going to do with Leonard Williams? We're going to just ask him to just take a pay cut this year. We're going to try to extend his contract a couple of years and drop down his salary cap hit. I mean, is his salary cap hit? Hey! His salary cap hit this year is like $32 million. You know, we could let Adoree Jackson go, but then we'd be opening up a whole can of worms there as far as our cornerbacks. We could let him go and save some money. We're going to let Kenny Golladay go probably after June 1st and save, I think, about $13 million toward the salary cap. So we got ways of saving some salary cap money and all and everything. But it'd be very, very interesting to see. You ready for the Super Bowl there? Huh? What is it like? Usually it's like what, 6 o'clock, I haven't been. I mean, the Eagles are in it, so I'm kind of like, I got like an upset stomach just thinking about that. So it's like the Eagles. Something from ESPN just popped on here. Let's see what else we got. I keep getting these updates from ESPN. Chiefs quarterback Mahomes. Breaking news: Joe Thomas. Here we go. The Hall of Fame class. Let's see if it pops up. Rondé Barber, Darrell Revis, DeMarcus Ware lead defensive-centric Pro Football Hall of Fame class. Oh, there you go. Pro Hall of Fame. It used to be like five or six guys. Now they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now they got 9 guys. Now they put like 35 guys in the Hall of Fame every year. They got Rondé Barber, Don Coryell. He was very good offensive mind coordinator. Very good. Chuck Howley. All right, okay. Linebacker with the Bears. What the fuck they turned to Chuck Howley with the Bears? He was with the Cowboys. Joe Klecko. Okay. Revis. Ken Riley. He was a cornerback with the Bengals. Joe Thomas. Yes, he definitely deserves it. Zach Thomas. Okay. All right. Linebacker. And DeMarcus Ware, he deserves to be in it without question. Super Bowl MVP is next. MVP Pat, Super Bowl. I hope. Well, I tell you, I'm pulling for him. I hope he's the Super Bowl. How's his ankle been doing? Is it any word on his ankle? Let's see here. Oh, jeez. Oh, I just had it. I had an update there. Said something about he's good. Good. Mahomes wins his second NFL MVP in 6 seasons. Good. Good, well, good for him. Good for him. Jalen Hurts. I'm glad. Good. I don't want to see a freaking Eagle win anything. Absolutely nothing. Good. He's good. Okay. Well, good. See, that was really to you guys' advantage to have 2 weeks off. I mean, to get somebody's, especially Patrick Mahomes, because if he ain't right, you can almost forget about it. No, I don't bet. I don't bet at all. The last time I bet was probably maybe almost close to almost 30 years ago. All right. I lost like 8 times in a row. And I'm like, the fuck out of here. I almost 30 years. No, maybe 27 years ago or something like that. One year, Greg Maddux, the Braves went to the World Series against the Indians. I don't know when that was, 95, 97, 96, somewhere around there. So maybe it was like 25 years ago. He was like 24-3 or something like that. So I bet on the Braves, right? Figuring, Greg Maddux is in there, but he lost. I mean, Greg Maddux had like 4 losses one year. I bet one, and that was one of his 4 losses with the time I just all these other. I just bet. I'm like, I just stop. I don't do that no more because all I know is I'm just taking my money and throwing it away. So I haven't done that in I guess maybe about 25 years. Will not do it. Absolutely not. The only way we could win money, I would tell you. I'd say, look, I think the Eagles are winning. I feel it. The Eagles, whatever. The Eagles are getting 5 points. I'm feeling the Eagles. I feel it. I'm putting $1,000 on the Eagles. I got it, baby. You know what I mean? So I tell you, and then you just put your money on the Chiefs, and you would win. That's the only way we can win. It does. You know what I mean? Whatever I think, right? It's wrong. It's the opposite way. So I don't even bother. I got other things I can do with my money, right? I could wipe my ass with it and flush it down the toilet. At least that way I would get some use out of it. You know what I mean? I got the Chiefs as a lot. What is the spread? I mean, I'm not, I ain't betting. What's the spread? I mean, the Chiefs, I'm sorry, the Eagles are favored. I say, because the Eagles, I mean, I don't, it just makes my skin. Yeah. Oh, okay. That sounds about right. Yeah. I'd have to give the Eagles a fair. I mean, I think all top to bottom, all that and everything, I think they're certainly the best team, in football. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's certainly we're very, very close. But you guys got Patrick Mahomes now, as I said, thankfully, at least for you guys, okay, and for us Giant fans who are voting against the Eagles, he had a couple weeks to heal up. Now, obviously, he may not be 100%, but if he's back there limping around and this, that, and the other, he's just like a wounded antelope in the field in the field of Africa, and it's like 1,000 lions around him. He's dead. You know what I mean? Because they got rushers. They bring him rushers off the bench, rushers in out of the stands. I mean, it doesn't matter. Every guy in their defensive front has like 300 sacks. It's unbelievable, right? But I mean, 1.5 points. That sounds about fair. Now the thing is with the Eagles is that because they got Jalen Hurts on his rookie contract, so next year would be his last year on his rookie because he's a second round pick. There's no 5th-year option for him. They would certainly pick it up if right, but there's no 5th-year option. So next year would be his last year, and then they could or maybe start talking extension with him or whatever. But in a couple of years, his salary is going to go. Yeah, usually like the first year they sign a contract or something, they try to work it with the numbers, stay relatively low, give him a signing bonus, right? And break the signing bonus up into many years. So if he's going to say make $45 million a year, just say his first year, he might only make it like $15 million cap hit toward the salary cap. You know what I mean? But then after that, it's just going to start going up and up and up. And once it starts going up, and you can start waving bye-bye to some of his weapons and some of his other guys on his team and all and everything. Oh, yeah. 50 million, yeah, I know. I can see that. Sure. I mean, especially if he wins a Super Bowl, or he took him to a Super Bowl. All these, 50, sure. But I mean, you also got to look at it. Like, what did he do? Like last year when they played the Giants, right? When Philadelphia came into town and they played the Giants, he scored 7 points, right? Maybe had some weapons. He didn't have A.J. Brown, right? He had DeVonta Smith, right? That was his rookie year. So I mean, is he a product of the system, and is he a product of the good players you guys around him and all of that? I mean, I said, look, he scored 7 points against the Giants 2 years ago when he didn't have A.J. Brown, right? 7. Okay, so he went from scoring 7 to 48. So. And I said, is he a product of his system and the guys he's playing with, or but yeah, I mean, well, he's got the best offensive line in football, but some of those guys on the offensive line are free agents, so they're probably going to start losing some. They don't have enough money right now to sign their draft class because they got 2 first-round picks. They got number 10 and number 31 or 32, but they got pick number 10. So that's a few million there. So they don't even have enough money right now to sign their draft class. So they pushed a lot of their chips into the middle of the table to win this year. Okay. So they're going to start losing some guys. And I said, when Jalen Hurts wants to get paid, when his salary starts going up, he's going to lose even more guys. So they put a lot of chips in the middle of the table this year. A lot of what they did is some of the guys they signed won't be on the team next year. Like, I'm not sure if it's Bradbury or not, but there's a couple of guys. What they did is they brought guys in, signed them, and for like 1 year. The guys will be gone, and for the next 4 years after this, they'll still be paying those guys. They have like void years, right? So they're bringing guys in, and they're signing them, and basically the Eagles are screwing with their salary cap for the next like 4 years or so after this, because they're bringing a bunch of guys in and they're just signing them, and they'll be gone, and they're going to keep paying them, and they won't be on the team, So that's something I know Shane wanted to avoid. It's something. I mean, I seen a couple guys 4 years. They're going to be paying guys 4 years after this year, and they won't be on the team. So they pushed a lot of chips in the middle of the table. So the Eagles might be paying for this somewhere down along the line. So you think they're really, really good now? Well, give them 4 or 5 years from now, they might be kind of hurting, but will be interesting to see. Yeah, I mean, he's got the players. I mean, great. I mean, they got a really good offensive line. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, you were saying like with his shoulder and all. I mean, and he looked good against the Giants. I mean, and then they ran the ball a lot against the 49ers. They did run the ball a lot. So, but then he has a couple. Now he has a couple weeks off to help heal up his shoulders. So I mean, hopefully you guys can get some pressure on him. Hopefully, because that's not an easy thing to do. I said with that Eagles offensive line. I mean, like Kelsey in the center, Lane Johnson. I mean, they got some really good guys. It's going to be really, really tough. Really, really tough to get some pressure on. And then he's very mobile too. So, I mean, it should be a good Super Bowl. It's just that I just watching it. It's just, I'm getting an upset stomach just thinking about watching the Eagles game. I can't stand watching the Eagles. Absolutely just can't stand them. But it should be a good Super Bowl. I mean, hope. The one thing I hate, is you get a Super Bowl and like when the Seahawks beat the Broncos. I forgot the hell what it was, like 42-8 or 43-8. The game was played in New Jersey. It was like 2014, I think it was. I mean, it was like absolute toilet bowl, absolute horrible. I mean, the Seahawks, the defense was phenomenal. I mean, Manning couldn't do anything against them. They had a fantastic defense. They really kicked ass. I just hate Super Bowls like that where they're just like unwatchable, So hopefully it's a close game. I'm certainly pulling for the Chiefs, right? Because I am so sick and tired around here listening to all these Eagle fans. I am so sick of that. And their coach, Nick Sirianni, I absolutely can't stand that freaking dude. He's way too cocky. Way too cocky. I can't. I really, really hope they lose. Yeah, it should be interesting on both sides. Yeah, it should be a good one. Yeah. All right, well, it's been 37 minutes. I got 3 thumbs up. 2 people are still watching me. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And for whoever gave me thumbs up, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. But almost all the awards are in, but Coach Brian Daboll, the NFL Coach of the Year. Well deserved. Way to go, Coach. Well, anybody spend any time watching me? All the comments? Yeah. Go Chiefs. Once again, anybody spend any time watching me, thank you so much. For anybody spends any time watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me, it really does. Thank you. And as always, guys, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.